started pretty much the same time as the UK, which is where I started. But the UK has grown a lot bigger as far as Forever Living is concerned than Spain. But what we're really excited about right now is that Spain has been like I call it a sleeping giant. You know, it's now is the time, with everything in place, that Spain is going to really expand and grow. And I think, I'm telling people that over the next 2 to 5 years, the business in Spain is going to grow by 400%. You know, and so when is the best time to get involved in a business? The best time is when we're at that sort of bend of the knee, which is where we are at the moment. So over the next 2 to 5 years, it's going to grow 400% bigger than it is at the moment. So for somebody like you guys just looking at the business for the first time, that's the time to get involved. You know, you've got a 45-year-old company with a track record. The company is cash rich, it's debt free. They operate in 168 countries around the world. Every single country, they have a head office that they bought for cash. They got no mortgages, no debts. So it's a nice feeling to be involved with and it's a family business. So they don't have shareholders either. So therefore we don't have any politics. And even Greg is on first name terms with the guys that work in the aloe fields harvesting the aloe vera. You know, so it's a lovely feeling to be involved in a business like that. As far as the products are concerned, you know, we're the world's largest growers and producers of aloe vera. I believe that we grow about 80% of the world's total supply of aloe vera. And the importance of that is that it means that we can put more aloe vera in our products than any other company. And the other important thing is, you can see the aloe vera leaves there, they're about this long. We only use the raw gel that's on the inside of the leaf. Okay, so the outer leaf is actually put back into the soil for fertilization. Other companies that manufacture aloe vera products boast about the fact that they use the whole leaf aloe. There is no goodness in the outer leaf. The only goodness is in the raw gel on the inside, and that's what we use. But of course they can't do that, the other companies, because they don't have as much of it as we do. On the bottom of that slide there, you can see emblems of certifications that we have. The Aloe Science Council Seal of Approval, the Islamic Seal of Approval. We have the kosher rating. We have all the certifications to allow people from anywhere in the world to use our products and market the products. And I think that's really important, because now our business is global. So you can build a local business, you can build a national business, but you can also build an international business. We started off our business in the UK. We now get paid from 40 different countries every month. So we have 40 paydays a month.
Big problem.
That's really exciting. The UK and Spain are our main source of income. The other countries are small incomes. It might be $100 here and $100 there, but if you times that by 40, it adds up. So, the interesting thing is that a lot of those countries we've never been to, but people in our team know people in other countries. So therefore our network expands into those countries and we get paid from those countries. So it's really exciting. So drinking aloe vera, I think the reason that we actually got into this business was because of the aloe vera drink. My wife Rosita had suffered for about 8.5 years with a stomach complaint called IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. And millions of people have that problem. Doctors just blame it on poor diet and stress. They don't really know how to deal with it. But a friend of ours called Mark came along to us one day and said to Rosita, I want you to try drinking the aloe vera gel. That's the one in the yellow tub. And she started drinking that on a daily basis. She didn't really believe it would do any good, to be honest with you, because she'd been going to the doctor for 8.5 years. She tried everything that the doctor recommended. Nothing would sort the problem out. She started drinking that, and she drank about that much each day. And within 4 weeks, I noticed that she wasn't complaining of the stomach cramps anymore. Within 6 weeks, she said, look, this aloe vera drink has got my IBS under control. Not cured, but under control. And the thing about, we never mention the word cure in our business. It alleviates the symptoms and it helps. And, if she were to stop drinking the aloe vera, the IBS would come back. Now, if you think about that as a business, we've got millions of people drinking aloe vera, and if they stop drinking the aloe vera, all their problems come back again. So it means that you've got customers coming back time and time again because they don't want the problems coming back. They want to stay healthy. So we get regular repeat business every 3 to 4 weeks, which is another good thing. It means that you can develop a customer base. Rosita and I think we've got 27 customers. We've been in the business for 28 years and we've got 27 customers. Okay, and we just maintain and look after 27 customers. We don't need 100 customers or 200 customers. We just need 20 or 25 customers, that's all.
How many partners do you have?
Pardon?
Partner, FPO?
How many people in the team?
Yes.
When I looked the other day, it was 17,000. And not all of those are active, but I looked at the figures on the computer, and it tells you how many managers are in your team and how many supervisors and it added up to 17,000 people. But all that came from 14 people that we personally introduced and worked with. So all the others are underneath the 14. It's a network of people that everybody does a little bit each.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna move on to the money side of it now, because when I say a little bit each, we have an international currency in our business, and it's called a case credit. And the reason we have an international currency is because you can build a business in any or all of the 168 countries that we work in. A lot of those countries have different currencies, but we don't need to learn about the currencies, because as far as our business is concerned, our currency is a case credit or a CC. So in Spain, one case credit, and I always round this off to make the maths easy, is approximately 250 euros at the retail price, which is the price we sell it for. Okay, so what we do is we teach everybody in the business to do 4 case credits a month in personal business, and they do 4 case credits by using the products themselves. So when we started, we probably used about half a case credit, £125 worth of products per month. The soaps, the shampoos, drank the aloe. If you use the products, then you get the confidence to recommend the products to other people. If you don't use the products, you're never going to sell them. Okay, so we use the products. So what you use is part of your 4 case credits. You become your own best customer. Okay. Second thing is you develop we recommend 20 customers. Okay. Now that's so easy to do in this business because we have a saying: if you get the products in them or on them, the product will sell the product. Okay, we don't need to sell the benefits of aloe vera. Everybody knows about aloe vera and how good it is. Okay, and we're known as the aloe vera company because we grow and cultivate about 80% of the world's supply. So develop 20 regular customers. Now we've got about 27, but 20 regular customers, they might start off by trying 1 or 2 products, spending 20 or 30 euros just to try the products. But usually they're so pleased with the products, and you give them a brochure or you give them some information online, and they reorder the products that they use to try, and then they order some more different products as well, the shampoo and different things, the weight management, and so our 27 customers on average spend about 50 euros a month each. So 50 euros times 27, just over 1,000 euros a month in repeat business. I don't have to sell it every month, they just reorder every month. So the products really take care of themselves. And then the third thing that we do is build a team. So we find some people that want more money and a better lifestyle than they have at the moment. So how many people out there do you think there are at the moment that would love to have more money and a better lifestyle?
Everyone.
Virtually the whole of the population.
Yeah.
Okay, so now is a really good time to be building the team. So we can show those people, first of all, find out if they're open to looking at an opportunity. If they are, we can give them some information. Part of the information we give them is this presentation, which explains the company, the products, and how we earn our money. And if they like what they see, they join the team, and then we just simply teach them to do what we do. And that's use the products, develop 20 customers, and build a team. Okay, and that's all we've done for the past 28 years. When we actually moved to Spain, which was 18 years ago, we had 10 years off. We didn't retire, we just went into cruise mode. So we didn't push the business, we just made sure that everybody was okay, and we kept in touch with everybody. And during that 10 years, our income actually grew, even though we weren't working. And that's because we helped the people that we brought into the business to become independent, so that they didn't need our support. And of course we get paid the royalty bonus. So if you just bear in mind, then everybody is using the products, developing 20, 25 customers, building a team. When somebody joins the business, normally what they do is they purchase a starter pack of products, okay, which is either 1.6 case credits or 2 case credits in Spain. So that 2 case credits that month would be part of your 4, okay? So to do 4 case credits, you use some, you sell some, and you sponsor some. All adds up to 4 case credits. 4 case credits is roughly 1,000 euros. It's just over 1,000, but roughly 1,000 euros. So if you build a team you find 5 people that would love more money and a better lifestyle, okay? And you show them the business, you get them involved, you work with them, and you help them to work with 5 as well. So now you've got 30 people in your team. But everybody's doing what you're doing, using the products, 20 regular customers, building a team. They're all doing about 1,000 euros a month in personal personal business, and that 1,000 euros a month is 4 case credits. If you times that by 30 people, that's 30,000 a month turnover in your business. And you're probably doing maybe 6 to 10 hours a week work to achieve that. And the company pay you a team building bonus. It's on the slide, which we probably can't, well, I can't see it, so I doubt if you can, but the bonus is that you get paid for building the team. The company pays you a team building bonus, okay? And that team building bonus it ranges between 5% and 13%, but it's an average of 10% overall, okay? So if you've got 30,000 euros a month going on in your business and you get paid an average of 10%, so it would be 5%, 10%, 13%, an average of 10, that's 3,000 euros a month. Okay? At that stage, you would be a manager with a good manager business. Your personal profit for your customers is 48%. So it starts off at 35% when you register and get your pack. By the time you get to manager, it's 48%. So if your customers are purchasing 1,000 euros a month between them, that's 480 euros in your pocket. On top of that, you've got your team building bonus, which is another 3,000 euros. Now, what happened with us when we got to the manager position? We had 30 people, and those 30 people were building their teams, and what they could see was that we were a manager earning 3,500 a month for doing exactly what they were doing, only we'd just been doing it a bit longer. Okay, so several of those 30 people were motivated to also become a manager like us because they wanted 3,500 a month. And guess what? We were motivated to help them because when they get to the manager position, we actually get paid a 6% royalty bonus. Royalty means you don't have to work for it. You do the work, you create the managers, and then you get the royalty bonuses. Because when they're manager, they don't need your support anymore. Okay? So what we did in our first year was we created 5 managers that all had 30 people in their team. They were all earning 3,000 a month. They were all doing about 30,000 turnover each in their business, times 5. And we got paid a 6% royalty bonus on that. So 6% of 30,000 is 1,800 times 5. That was on top of our 3,000 that we were earning team building bonus. And it was also on top of the 480 that we were earning retail profit from our customers. Okay, so everybody has the same opportunity. So I've heard over the years so many people, not so much lately, but so many people say, it's all right for you because you were there at the beginning. Okay, it was much harder at the beginning because in the beginning, when we started, for instance, we never had those things. We never had the internet. Okay, we used to use the acetates. We never even had projectors that go wrong. Okay, we used to have the floppy acetates. Remember those? And we used the flip chart. Actually, I love using the flip chart even now. Just put me in front of a flip chart. I absolutely love it. And I didn't have a mobile phone when we started. It was 8 months later. We used to use the red telephone boxes and go into hotels to use the kiosk phone, and nobody could get hold of us. We had a big team and nobody could get hold of us, and that's how we started. But of course now we've got the internet, we've got our online systems, we've got the presentations, we've got all the tools. And if you use the tools, you don't have to learn how to do presentations yourself. All you've got to do is point them to an online presentation or a recorded presentation or bring them here and let someone else do it for you. So, it's just a great business. Now, on top of the income that I just mentioned, there are also incentives. So once you get to the manager position, you can qualify for the incentives. So you've got the Forever to Drive, which we called the car plan. Okay, so they've got 3 different levels. In Spain, it's 400 a month, 600 a month, and the top level is 800 a month. So they don't actually give you a car, they give you the money, and most people spend it on a car, and so they drive around in a car that they own themselves, but it's paid for by the company. Okay, but I know lots of people. I know one person that bought a boat with it. I know someone else who bought a tractor with it. You can spend it on what you like. Okay, but most people spend it on a car. And then you've got the international travel. There are two main travel incentives every year. The one that we like going to is the Global Rally, which next year is in India. So, you guys getting started now, for instance, you've got enough time to get 1,500 case credits under your belt between now and the end of December this year in order to go to India, 5-star trip for 2 people, all expenses paid with spending money, and that's what we qualified for in our first year. So we started in January, and by August we qualified for that trip. And then you've got the chairman's bonus. Chairman's bonus is a share of the company's profits. So what the company do is they take 3% of the annual turnover. So the annual turnover last year was in excess of $2 billion. So 3% of $2 billion, they put that into a pot, and then all the managers around the world that qualify for that get paid a check pro rata to the size of their business that they qualified on. So if you've got a small business, you get 2,000 or 3,000, 4,000 euros. If you've got a dirty great big business, the top check was over $1 million. That's a one-off bonus on top of the monthly income. So it can double or treble your annual income, that one bonus. So it's the company giving back, really. It's Greg Morn saying, guys, thanks for a good year. Here's a share of the profits. You know, how many companies do you know, how many people out there are working for a company that says to them once a year, thanks for a good year, guys, here's a share of the profits. You know, here's 20,000 euros. Here's 200,000 euros if you worked really hard. It doesn't happen, but it does in this business. And that's what we loved. So, I mean, that's really the nuts and bolts of how we actually get paid in our business. But I think, you know, for somebody that's looking at it for the first time, or even if somebody's been in the business a while and they've decided, okay, now's the time that I'm going to really go for it and build my business. You know, you could spend 6 to 12 months from now on a part-time basis, really just going for it and rely on the fact that your efforts are going to be rewarded forever. That's why they call it forever living. It's not just a fad, it's going to be around forever. It's willable. You know, our business is going to be willed to our children. Well, our children are bigger than me, so you know. But you know, we can will our business to our children. So that's why they always do what we ask them to do, because they know that if they don't,
they won't get it.
They won't get it. So yeah, it's just a business that we've been in the business for 28 years. We've had some time out, which you can do in this business. But now, you know, I can honestly say that we're just as excited now as we were when we started 28 years ago. And I don't know many people in jobs that can be excited about the job they're doing 28 years after they started.
Exactly.
Doesn't happen, does it? You know, so yeah, and if you want to add something to that.
Yeah, I would love to add something about the company and Spain, but Charles, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've seen you many times in global rallies, but I've never seen you like here.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Yeah,
Who is he?
I'm not even going to try to pronounce your surname, because.
It's okay.
But once we have Phil here with in the business long. We have some other guys that are long in the business, but Charles is not living here. He's here actually for a retreat. Let's say they have
Small group trip, yeah.
a small VIP retreat they have at the weekend. But I would love, if that's okay for you, Charles, for you to share with the guys you know, a little bit about your amazing story.
My forever.
Yeah, your forever story with us, because I think that can be really inspiring for all of us. So you don't mind?
I'm just going to say hi first. I'm Charles.
Yeah, exactly.
Elena.
Elena.
Elena, nice to meet you. Good to see you.
Hi, good to
Michael,
see
good to
you.
see you again. You are?
Wow.
Come on, Charles, nice to meet you. You are?
I'm Matt.
Charles, nice to meet you.
Andy, nice to meet
Really nice to meet you. Phil, a pleasure. I've heard about
Good to meet you.
You too, sir. And Hector.
Denver.
Denver, right? I heard about you as well.
Oh, really?
From Denver. Yes, so lovely to be here in Spain and to come to this session here. And lovely to hear you speak, Phil, because it's like no matter how many times I hear the opportunity, every time I hear it from a new person, there's a new angle to it. You know, and I think it's very important. Many people in our businesses say, but I've heard that before. But this has never happened before. So I would like to start by saying that if we choose to look at life as something new every single day, we live a totally different life than most people do. Most people, they just repeat the same day over and over again and try to make sense of it. And that's a big trap in our business as well. If you're not eager to learn, then you will stop growing. That's very important. So very briefly about myself. I'm Charles, Roger Sounder and Wadsworth. That's my middle name. It's from Sri Lanka. That's where I come from. And I came to Norway back in '86 as a refugee because of the war back home. I was 10 years old at the time, and my parents, they left everything to give me and my sisters a brighter future. And that's a strong why. And that's an important thing for us to remember as well, that if you don't have a strong why, nothing else makes sense. You really have to have a strong why. So that's why I like the new slogan from Forever Living, what matters most. Because aloe vera never got me going, if you understand. It was a great product, fantastic results and everything, but it really didn't trigger me. But when what matters most came into the business, that kind of just rejuvenated me totally. Anyways, after living in Norway from the age of 10, at the age of 19, I was introduced to network marketing. That's now 28 years ago. When you joined the business, actually, Phil,
Yeah.
for the very first time. I was 19 years old. I was working for Levi's at that time. And there was this American guy who came to the store and he told me, he said, Charles, how often do you get paid for the work that you do? And I said, once. And he started to laugh. And I was like, seriously? And he says, Charles, you need to find a way to get paid residual. And you need to find a way to get paid on the human behavior. And that's a very interesting thought. That struck me. I joined another company, and I worked with 3 different companies before I came to Forever Living. And we built very big organizations, but then they collapsed. Like what you said, Forever Living is a company that's here forever. Then my sponsor and my friend, Steve, he called me about Forever Living. In the summer of 2002, my father passed away. There was a lot of things happening in my life at the time. Have you ever been in a space in life where you don't believe in yourself? You lack the trust? A dark space, right? From the outside, I was a very outgoing, ambitious guy, but within me, it was really dark. I lost faith in myself. I had lost faith in opportunities. And at that time, because when my father passed away, I lost all my money, so I had to borrow money from a friend to pay for his funeral. And being a young man having to do that for your father, that's not where you want to be. So when my friend called me about Forever Living, I just kept my phone. I didn't want to hear about it. But this guy, he called me every single day for almost 2 months. And he told me, you know, Charles, it's okay that you say no, but have a look at it. And then you can say no. That's a really good pitch. I'll let you off the hook if you just look at it. And I met him, and I was also curious because I love the industry, but I just didn't believe that there was a company worth my time and effort. It's like if you go from a broken relationship to a new one, it takes a lot of courage and trust to believe, because you have that luggage, right? But when I heard about Forever Living, I was really amazed because there were no promises. There were no easy, quick fix, fast track to money. You had to do the work. That was new to me. But I was very skeptical about the products because I couldn't actually see myself, you know, pull out a cream and go and tell my friends, you know, hey Jonas, this actually penetrates all the way in, you know. That was kind of weird to me. But my girlfriend back then, my wife today, Hilda, she fell in love with the products. And you know, when women are convinced, they're convinced. Not just them, but their whole household. So what happened was, Hilda got convinced, and we joined the business in October 2002. And I was a very skeptical bystander. I remember me and Hilda used to go out visiting people, and she's so eager that I used to kick her leg under the table to make her to be quiet, because I felt it was so embarrassing. And we used to argue in the car back home, you know, but she was so excited. And at that time she was working as an air hostess, so she had access to all these brand names, right? But she stopped using them and started using Forever Living instead. And the products, like you mentioned, Phil, they just started to move. Because I like what you said, when you put it on them or in them, the product takes over, you know? And I saw this happening. Is this okay that I'm talking? I'm getting a bit excited right now. Is it okay? Yeah? And that's also the point I loved about what you said, is that after being in the business for 28 years, to be excited, for me to be in the business after 20 years, in this company, 28 in the industry, to get excited like I'm doing right now, that's my biggest CV. That is true success, because it proves that I've been able to build a business based on my premises that Forever Living allows me to do. Most of the people that you and I know, they pay a high price to be somebody else than who they are, to live a life other people want them to live, and never actually achieving their dreams. What a waste of life.
Yeah.
You know, so we need to be very honest about this. And when I get to speak to 1 or 100 or 1,000 people, it's so important to me that I don't leave the space by doing my very best. Because if you don't do your very best, then you're actually betraying yourself. That's what we tell our kids, right? We don't tell our kids if they try to walk and they don't, and say, it's okay, you can just stay down, it doesn't matter. No, we encourage them to move on. And we should be just as eager in encouraging ourselves to move forward. You know? Could you all put your hands out like this, just straight out? Sit up straight, yeah? And when I count to 3, I want you to clap, all right? 1, 2, 3. You know, people don't do what you ask them to do, they do what you do. Yeah, so you have to lead by example, even in this business. And so what happened was, when Hilda got excited about the products and I saw what was happening, I started to look into it even more seriously. And at that time I was also in the city council back home. And during a city council meeting, a colleague of mine walked past me and she says, "Oh my God, I've got such a bad headache." And at that time we had the heat lotion, right? It's a thermal cream. So I took the cream out of my bag and I just passed it down to her on the table, didn't say anything. And after a while I got this note that says, "Hi Charles, where did you buy it? How much does it cost?" Now when that happened, she pressed the right button on me, because I was good at sales. I wanted to find something that was better than me, so that I could actually pull back. Because if what you earn is based on only you, it's dependent on you. What happens when you stop? You need to create something that can grow even when you're not there. So when this lady wanted that, I actually just shared something that I use daily for my neck. I didn't even think of selling it. Now that's soft sell, that's passive income, that's powerful. That is earning money on the human behavior. And we don't sell product, we sell solutions. So she had a problem that I solved, even not unintentionally, you know? Then I started to see the power of it. So in 2002, I got to go to this event in Gothenburg in Sweden, the first profit sharing event that I saw that had in Scandinavia, I think. And that was crazy. We were a group of 10, 12 people that traveled, and I was still not convinced. You know what I mean? It just sounds too good to be true. But I was there, and my wife and I, we got to meet Rex, the founder, for the very first time, and we were pinned as supervisors. And even then, when he was putting the pin, I was thinking, why should you be so much better than everybody else that I met before? With big promises and the fancy cars and all this stuff. But during that event, I spoke to people, and I recommend all of you to do that, just to speak to people and ask their story of their journey. Because you never know what sentence that will trigger you to move forward, you know? Anyway, so I did that during the event, and I met some people, heard their stories, and that convinced me. So during that day, I went to Kim Madsen, because Kim I knew from before, and I went to Kim and I said, "Kim, I've decided, I'm going to go for it. Would you come to my hometown and do a seminar?" And Kim, he knows exactly what buttons to press. So he looks at me and he says, "You can't ask me to do that before you become a manager." He laughed and he walked away, and I was like, come on, but he knew me, right? So that day I made a decision, and that's also a very big thing to remember, is that you can wish for something, but if you don't decide, nothing happens. And you only decide if you actually take action. So if you don't take any action, there's no decision. So, but that day I made my decision, and I've been in Forever Living for 4 months already. So being in Forever and building the Forever business is two different things, right? So I decided myself, and I started calling people, and within 19 days we became so-called managers. I think we did about 137 cases or something, and that was my beginning. That was back in 2002. Yeah, and sorry, in 2003 I became a manager. Yeah. And from there it's just been growing steady by steady, and in 2006 when Hilda and me were going to become parents for the first time, Hilda, we always wanted to be at home as parents when we get kids, and it was because both our mothers were at home when we were small kids, right? So she chose to leave her job, and when she did that, close friends and family, they came and said, but Hilda, you can't do that. You need 2 incomes, and you're doing well in your job and all this stuff. And it's all well meant, but they didn't know what Forever Living was. Just like if you're new here today, what we're telling now is just theory to you, right? Because you know what you know. But it takes time to actually see what this is, and if you see it, then it's hard to let go. But you have to give that chance. And I told my wife, I said, other people's opinions do not pay your bills.
Exactly.
It's so important to remember that. Other people's opinions, they can mean whatever, but if they're not willing to walk in your shoes, then they're just opinions. So we chose to do that, and Hilda's been at home now with us. We have 3 boys now, 16, 14, and 6. Amazing. The time freedom, the legacy, the willable income, that was one of my driving forces, because after my father passed away, I remember I was at the profit sharing, and I met Magnus for the first time. And Magnus Adlercreutz, his mother was one of the people who brought Forever Living to Scandinavia. I never got to meet her, but I heard about Magnus, that he had inherited the income. That was something I heard, but I had to see it. And I have a picture of him and me together from that event. And then I have a picture of me and him and my eldest son and his kids together. And now, if anything happens to me today, my wife and kids will inherit everything. Now, how many other fathers can say that? I'm not gonna say, I'm not looking down on anything else, but I'm saying there's an opportunity where you can make your time and effort worth so much more than what other people consider giving to you. You know, I'm not saying that Forever Living is the only way. I always tell people in my teams that if you know of something better, be there. Your life is too valuable to do something that other people recommend you to do. They might have the best intention. My mother still wants me to be a lawyer or a doctor. You know, because in her culture it's so important to have that structure. And I told my mom, I can become a doctor. That's easy. 8 years, done. But then I told her, if I come home frustrated and angry, disappointed because of my job, and I did it because of you or other people's expectations, it will actually affect my family. Because I won't take the blame, I won't take the responsibility. But if I choose something that I choose, then I have to take responsibility. Now, how many people do you know today who blame others for their life? And the consequences are so huge, it's so sad. Especially when we have opportunities like this. That's why I challenge, especially men, I challenge them. I say, you should live a life with no complaint. I know it's harder than it is for you today, but that is so much better. I would rather work hard for something that's mine than to work hard for something that is not mine, for somebody else's dream. So the same people that try to talk Hilda out of leaving the job, they come today and you know what they say? They say, oh my God, guys, you guys are so lucky.
Yeah.
Just imagine having all that time. It's not luck, it's hard work and effort. It's a strong why. Nobody can take that away from us, right? That's huge.
Yeah.
With the incentives with Forever Living, I remember thinking to myself, I will never be able to do this. The doubts, you know, it's normal to have doubts. But if you have a why, you can turn those doubts in favor towards you. But if you don't have a why, those doubts will cripple you. My father was a pastor, he said, without a vision, man will perish. It doesn't say maybe, it says you will, guaranteed. And what do we see around us? Most people don't have a vision. Most people don't know where they're heading. Most people don't have a reason to stand up, get up in the mornings. But all can, because it's a choice. You know, I spoke to the team in Norway the other day. I said, it's sad to see so many people be so ungrateful when we live in a country where you can stand in the shower, raise your head and drink the water you're showering in, and still you complain. Gratitude is something that really I love about Forever Living. So for me, Forever Living is not a goal, it's a tool to become who you want to be without compromising what's important to you and bring value to those that matter the most to you. In December, my baby sister and my grandma, they passed away just a couple of days apart. But I was able to pull myself out of the business and be present with my family, who lives globally, to bring them all in and create that space of caring, without having to compromise on my kids or my wife. How much is that worth? It's priceless. You know, it's priceless. I've been able to reach different levels in Forever Living. I think the highest point was the GLT, the whit and I'm on my way back again, step by step, by choice, not because I have to, but because I want to. And I also tell that to people: don't do stuff because you have to. Do it because you want to. Even though you're in a space in life where you didn't choose it, the quicker you take responsibility, it works in your favor. You say, you know, this is not where I want to be. It's not my fault. But from now on and forward, I need to take responsibility. You know, my father told me, he said, even the fact that you can complain is something to be grateful for. Because there are so many people who even can't complain. You know, the best thing you and I can do for people, and I challenge people with this, the best thing you and I can do for people who have less than what we have is to do more with what we have. Because if you don't do more with what you have, that's so arrogant towards those that don't have it. You know what I mean? And with that attitude, you can make the world a better place, just like that. So I believe in Forever Living as a tool to make the world a better. Just to listen to you, Phil, that's encouraging to me. You know, because Phil has been in the business longer than me. So when I see Phil talking, when I come in here and see that ownership, how grounded you are, the confidence you have in the opportunity of sharing, that's for me huge. You know, that's proof. In 8 years, I might be sitting like Phil. Because you need those people in your life who have gone further, longer, stronger, to grow in that, yeah? And I'm also here to meet you, Hector, to get to know you a little bit better, because it's not the business, the people in the business.
Yeah.
So for me to invest in Spain won't be interesting if the people who are there already are not in the right soil. You know what I mean? Because it's all built on trust. To meet all of you guys again, fantastic. Scandinavian family, you know?
Oh, thank
It's
you.
huge, it's huge. And I've got a new home with Forever Living. One of the things that I really love about it is that when I came to Norway as a refugee, I decided that I don't want to be one of those people that the newspapers or the media talks about as a refugee. You know, like they say that they say, for example, like in Norway, in the media, refugees often get a very negative space in the media. I decided that I don't want my kids to think that I'm like that. So I can't just say that, I have to do something about it. And for me to be able to become one of the core leaders in a multi-billion-dollar company in Scandinavia or in the world is a huge inspiration to my kids. Because I'm no longer a victim. Did you get that?
Yeah.
And everybody can do this. No matter where you are, who you are, what background you have, doesn't matter. Anybody who's willing to put in time and effort, I guarantee them that they will have the results. But it has to have a strong why within them. I would like to share the story with Rex in Bangladesh. I would like to share one story about Rex that really made me plant my flag. You know what I mean by planting the flag? Something happens in your life. It can be in a relationship. I remember one day I had a really, even in Forever Living, days can be tough. You can be disappointed. You can be tired. You can lose motivation. All that can happen. But it's my responsibility. So I remember I came home one day, I was really exhausted, very disappointed, and a bit frustrated. And I came up the stairs to our apartment and I could hear my wife rolling and laughing with our eldest son. You know, when a mother and child laughs together, that's unbelievable. Just wholehearted laughter. I was standing outside the door with tears in my eyes. And that was a strong why. If what I do makes that happen, then it's worth it. So the question is, what matters most? So, anyways, I had the pleasure of being a part of Bangladesh in Forever Living when it got started and moving forward. And one day when I was there, Rex invited me to join him to go to the Minister of Commerce to do a negotiation, getting to know the Minister of Commerce together with Nawaz, who was his right hand. And I was so excited because when I went to high school, I had flunked in maths. And my teacher told me from the whole class, he said, "Charles, I don't know what's going to become of you." And people in life, in authority, might say stuff to you that might cripple you for the rest of your life. And that is a very selfish way to be by that person. People say stuff without thinking about the consequences. That is so sad. But I was sitting there, 16 years old, and I remember my father, he said, "Charles, you can become whatever, whenever." So I had two stories. Whose story did I choose? My father's. That's why I'm sitting here today. Because if I had listened to my teacher, I would not be sitting here. Because he limited me. My father made me unlimited. I don't think my teacher is up at night saying to his wife, "I wonder how Charles is doing." I don't think he does. I think he's forgotten me. So why should I let somebody who forgets me cripple me from living my life? And how many people do you know who lets that happen? Every single day. Again, other people's opinions don't matter. Because they're not there when your kid is sick. They're not there when your mom is not feeling well. If they're there, then it's okay, then listen to them. But not just opinions. Anyways, we had this meeting with the Minister of Commerce. Meeting was done, and I was so excited. I was really way up there. Because I had flunked in maths, and now I'm here negotiating with a country of 160 million people together with Rex. I wish my teacher had seen that. You know. Anyways, we come back to the hotel, and we're having a late dinner. And I'm so eager, and I go to Rex and I say, "Rex, what would you like me to do?" And I would have done anything. Anything. Rex puts down his fork and knife, and he looks at me and he says, "Charles, invest more time with your kids." And he goes back to eat. That's when I planted my flag. If a multi-billionaire who has a very ambitious and eager servant willing to do anything takes that moment and helps me to refocus on what really matters, then that's a leader that I want to have. I don't know of anybody else that I've met in my whole life, in any leadership, that has had that value. Just imagine that. He could risk losing me there. But he thinks more about who we are than the business itself. That's what I love about it. So that's when I planted my flag. And then that's why I became forever, you know? And it's not, like I said, it's not the products and not the money. All that is good. But it's the fact that you get to choose your life that is the highest purpose. And if we can help people, for example, if something I said right now could impact one of you in some thought, it doesn't have to be forever living. It might be somebody you thought about in your family, maybe a relationship, something that you want to finish off or do better, whatever. If you just make that one step, then that's worth the whole time. But if nobody gets anything out of what I say now, it doesn't matter because it happens to me. It makes me more committed, it makes me more, because now I have more witnesses. You can ask me later, you can say, Phil, in 5, you can say, "Hey Charles, how's your family? Have I taken care of it, have I not?" Because he will keep me accountable.
Yeah.
It's like you said, Hector, I've seen you before, Charles, but this is the first time. Now you get to hear more. Now you can keep me accountable. I'd heard about you, Denver, now I get to meet you. Without the other Denver. Yeah? It's a story. We hear about people, so I think using Forever Living as a tool, I really don't know a better tool in the world today where you can impact your life and other people's life at the same time without compromising on what's most important to you than Forever Living. And if you know of something else, please let me know. But everything else puts you first and others second.
True.
In forever living, you get to put yourself first, and that's done by helping other people. So you win-win. The only way I can do better is by helping others. You know, it's fantastic, the opportunity. And if I can just share, okay, I want to share one more. No, I have a lot of stories, but it's just I'm just so grateful to be able to be here, and also for the time that you've given me to share with you, because your time, you will never get it back. It's precious. So I hope that I brought some value to it, and you guys have at least brought it to me. So yeah, very excited. So, and if I can be of any assistance back in, if you know people in Norway, you know, feel free, because the one is a small place, and I know there are a lot of Norwegian or Swedish or Danish people living here. That's one of the reasons why I want to look into Spain, because yeah, you know, we speak so many different languages, and the potential is huge.
So are you moving to Spain, Charles?
No, sir.
No.
but I have some people on my team, and also it's quite reachable from Norway.
Yeah.
So I'm looking to see if that can be a country where we can put some effort into it. But I don't want to be hasty, but I think it's a big possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long have you been living here, Phil?
18 years, no?
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So lovely to meet you.
Yeah, well, and you too. I mean, that's one of the things we love, you know, going around the world to the rallies and mixing with other like-minded people, you know, that all have the same vision and the same qualities. I think, me personally, I've learned more by having breakfast with somebody and just talking than going to a training. You know, I mean, the trainings are really important, but I think relationships are more important.
Yeah.
And pretty much everything that we know, we've taken from other people that were happy to give it to us. You know, we've just learned from other people. And all the successful people, the diamond managers and the people that are at the top, you know, when they do the trainings, they didn't invent those trainings. They were shown by somebody else. You know, we all learn from other people. So, yeah, I mean, Spain is it's going to be. I mean, with the team that we have in Spain, with Hector and the management team and the people that you work with, we went to Madrid a couple of months ago to meet everybody. Philippe came over from France, and we met everybody at the head office. And since then, you've moved to a different head office, and we were so impressed and so motivated by. After 18 years of us being in Spain, at last we could see a management team that was motivated to help us be successful in Spain. And that's what I'm excited about for Spain, you know. So it's just like Spain is just beginning.
It is. And just to wrap it up, and thank you so much, Charles, to share, you know, because it's a real pleasure to have, both of you and some of you guys here. Just to wrap it up, and then, you know, you guys can order a drink. If you have any questions, talk to the guys here. I mean, there are great share of knowledge. But what we really want in Spain, and the opportunity we have in Spain with Forever, I believe, is to have in the near future lots of stories like the ones these two gentlemen share with us. And we want to have Charles in Spain with a Spanish family, impacting lots of families around Spain, because it's needed. This opportunity is massive. We literally touch lives of people, but we need to be brave enough to share that with them. I hope you guys got inspired by, you know, those stories. We want to have fields in Spain, different names, you know, different accents. But in Spain, pretty much no one. I was talking with Juan before. I'm Spanish myself. I had to move to Ireland 7 years ago to know about Forever. And when they showed me this, I was like, why never had the guts, let's say, to share this with me in Spain? Because this opportunity changes lives. And in Spain, we have a massive responsibility to share that with people. And now is the right time. So I hope you guys, based on what you have heard, you have enough curiosity and you are brave enough to give it a go, to take the next step, and to change your life and many others. So thank you so much, guys. And let's, order a couple of drinks if you guys are happy. And if you have any questions, feel free to chat, because at the end of the day, we are in a really relaxed
Yes.
environment. Okay, so
We are here.
so
We are here to chat.
yeah, so let's do that. You happy with that, or yeah?
Perfect. Yeah. Thank you.
I bring the waiter now because he was coming a couple of times. So.